old Aston Villa must be absolutely sick of the sight of him, but so are a lot of clubs. 20-plus goals in all competitions for 3 successive seasons. That's not bad for, what was it, 34 million?
That's good. And for a winger, to be honest with you, he's not an out-and-out striker, is he? So someone who's playing from the wing and creating, we're supposed to be creating, but scoring as well at that rate, is phenomenal. Where would you
have him? We were having this conversation earlier, Graeme, in terms of if you had to lose one of the front three for a period, he'd be the last one.
28 years old, fantastic attitude. I mean, he's a warrior. I'd be far easier going to say what he hasn't got, and I can't tell you what he hasn't got. If I could think of something. He's spot on with his attitude, aggressive, will not be bullied. I think maybe if you were really aggressive to the others, you could, maybe not so much for Munoz, Salah. I think you could maybe discourage with if the rules were slightly more flexible.
But when you talk about
discourage this guy,
price tag, is he an example of just how well Liverpool have recruited to get to the position they're in now?
Yeah, he came from Austrian football to Southampton, didn't he? So you could see he could deal with the English game. But then again, it's making a jump from Southampton, with all due respect to a club that's on the world stage, where every game you play, it could be the other team's cup final. You don't get an easy games if you're a Liverpool player. Emile, I'm sure, would agree with that. Everyone wants to go to war with you. Everyone wants to take you on. Everyone wants to beat you. You're a scalp. So you don't know how players will react until you get them in. And he's grown. He's relished every challenge that comes his way. And he generally wins every challenge that comes his way. He's a fabulous player. There's nothing to dislike about him. You see his interview there, smiley, open. You want to work with people like that. I don't think you'd have to say very much to him in terms of, come on, train harder today, or on match day, make sure you're at it today. I think it's inbred in him. I think it'd be an absolute dream to work with.
He's an automatic pick as well, isn't he? But there was a lot of surprise at the price tag going back those 3 years.
Yeah, when you're buying a player from Southampton that is an unknown entity, I think what Sui said, where you don't know what he's going to be like coming into this environment, because again, going into Liverpool, you are a scalp. Everyone expects you to be a certain way. Everyone expects you to be at it every week. Expect you to train a certain way. But I'm sure they'd have done all their homework and had scouts in asking how he trains, what's he like off the pitch, what's his family life like, and they probably loved everything they heard, and that's why they got him.
See, a big part of it, did you feel when you went in there, you knew you were coming into a club that had achieved so much that you were trying to live up to what had gone on before?
No, I was young and I just come in there because I wanted to play at the biggest level, and I knew what I was capable of doing. So it wasn't until I got there and then you realise the circus that comes around that. But before that, I just wanted to play for the best. And I'd been in and around the national team, so I'd been in and around players that were at that level, were at them sort of teams. So, and I'd held my own, so I wasn't that bothered about that. It wasn't until I got there I was letting you like, whoa, okay.
It's a burden for some players coming into that environment. It would be the same if you were going to United, and sort of Chelsea have, in recent days, maybe Arsenal a bit. You're going into an environment where you're expected to win things. You've not come here just to be a good player and look after yourself and do your best. That ain't enough. You've got to do everything you possibly can and more to keep winning things for the cause. I was aware of that when I went there as a player.
Interesting to hear you call it a circus. Was it a nice circus though?
That was a good circus. When you're winning trophies, it's always nice, isn't it?